Hi everyone, it's Eddie here at Eddie Makes Art, and today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different, but kind of familiar. And what I'm doing is I'm going to be using this new stencil. This one is from Devon Rex for Art. It's her YouTube name. Her name is Yolande Alexander, and she created this really beautiful stencil called Wonky O's. So I'm going to use that to create a couple of prints, and I'm going to employ mica powders. But I also am going to use some older gel prints that I'm going to cut out on my Cricut and create some envelopes, because I'm going to use the prints I make with this stencil into thank you cards, or just like a generic card, but, nice and um, just nice. And then these envelopes are they hold a 3.5 by 5 inch card. And then they have, so the whole envelope width is 5.25, and then height is 3.75 inches. And so this is what I am going to use today, but obviously, use whatever envelope size and card size that you have or can get access to. I happen to have a lot of gel prints, and I have a Cricut machine, so I'm going to use these to cut out my envelopes. And I have several different here. I don't know exactly which ones yet, but and I chose some that are on the thicker paper, the Hammermill 32-pound color copy paper. It's a little heavier than just like a regular copy paper. And I'm trying to feel, I don't think any of these are on regular copy paper. These are all pretty much on that Hammermill paper. This one's slightly thinner, but it's not that much thinner. This is a larger printmaking paper, a 9 by 12 size, but it's still sturdy enough. Plus, the added layers of paint on the paper gives an even more of a thickness, if that makes sense. Like this was originally a 12 by 12 gel print, a 12 by 12 piece of scrapbook paper that I gel printed over, and ran this through the machine and got this guy here. So I'm going to do that with some of these, and then we'll create some really cool prints to put inside those envelopes. So to create the gel print that I'm going to use as my card, I want to, first I laid down my stencil right on the gel plate. And again, this is Wonky O's by Yolande Alexander, and all that info is always in the description, will be in the description box as usual, under the video. So I'm just going to go, and I picked out 4 colors to use in the on the print. And these are mica powders. This is a silk white. I've chosen a light blue, black, silver black, and brilliant blue. Now, there's also a color combo going on this month over in Makers of Mixed Media Artists on Facebook. The color combo is for a Payne's Gray. There's 2 shades of blue, and I can't remember because I don't have it in front of me. I didn't print the card out. Anyway, and there's, you can also have black, white, and a metallic of your choice. The pattern is zigzag. I don't know if I'm going to make it that far because I've chosen this stencil, but I think that I'll get close to it, and that should be fun. I mixed this up. This is some silver gray, phthalo blue, and I think some of this brilliant blue, something else, and black. Trying to make a Payne's Gray with the mica powders I have, but that's not really working, so not going to worry about that. Okay, let's just focus on getting these colors in here. So I'm just going to start with the brilliant blue. I like to tap on the jar to make sure everything is, off the lid there. And here, a can of paddle brushes. These are wonderful for applying mica powders to the gel plate. They're not going to harm your gel plate. It may take some mineral oil to get all of it off completely once you're done, but it won't affect the performance of the gel plate. Let's say it does leave some staining behind. It doesn't affect the gel plate at all, because I've done this before and my plates are fine. So just take your brush, dip it into the powder, and I'm just going to start on this side here. Let's just go here and just drop in some color, mix it up. And I didn't really, like plot out a pattern or anything. And once this hits the gel plate, it's set. So you can go over it with paint, which is what we're going to do once I fill in all the areas of the pattern. We'll pull up the stencil, and then I'll pick it up with another color onto some card. Okay, so that's one layer, or one color. And so you see from behind, it's really like it's beautiful, right? So I'm gonna keep going here. I think for the next color, I'm gonna do some white. Really should have done them white first, but it's all good. Just want to make sure these are tightly covered, because I'm a spiller, so I have to be very careful. Let's see if I can find. Here we go. Okay. Now, the reason I'm going right to left is because I'm left-handed. I mean, I know I'm using my right hand to do this, but I tend to smudge things as a left-handed person when I start on the left, so I'm going right to left. For the final color, I'm going to go ahead and use this mix that I made to give me a little bit more of a variation here. I don't know if you can tell, I have some open spaces left, and I think I'm just going to come in with some white and maybe the brilliant blue, and just fill in those empty areas that are left. And there aren't too many. So this is the back, or basically what we're going to see on the front, the back of my gel plate, but this is the top layer, right? And then behind that, we will put a pull color. I think for my pull color, I'm going to use this acrylic Liquitex Basics acrylic silver and some Deco Art metallic in zinc. Just a little bit of each. Let's see, a little bit of that. A little bit of that. That should be enough. A little crooked, but I'm not going to stress about it. Let's get a piece of tissue down here so I can clean up these edges. And then once this print is done, I can cut it up into pieces that will fit into my card, and I'll probably mount them on something a little stiffer, so that so that it has a border and a little bit more substance. So we'll see. I have to see what I've got. I haven't planned that far. Let's take a peek at the other side now that we have the pull color on. So see, it's really cool. It's not like super bold, but it's really, I think it's really fun. So that has to dry, and I'll be back once that's done. Now, while the other one's drying, I am going to go ahead. We'll do another print. But this time what I want to do is do a layer of my mica powders, rearrange the stencil so it's kind of opposite, and then do some more. I want to see what kind of effect that gives, okay? So here, let's just start with the first one I picked. This is the black. And I'm not going to be as perfect with this one. I'm going to just kind of just go into areas and rub on some color. And just kind of be haphazard. And let's see the results we get on this one. And that's the fun about the gel plate, is getting in there, trying different things, seeing what happens. You're not always going to get the same thing twice. You probably never will, because that's not the nature of the gel plate. But it's a great way to experiment with different colors and mediums, and just a pattern, layering, how things, how you figure out, how you want to layer things. And that's how you do it. You just got to get in there and mix it up. Don't be afraid of color. Don't be afraid of putting down paint or covering. Just got to do it. It's only paper and paint. Now, if you want to, I would suggest taking notes if you're trying to figure out, like, layering and how you did it, or, how you created a certain color mix. It's always good to take notes so that if you do want to, attempt to recreate it, you have a place to start with. You have a basic formula to go from, and then that way, you're not beating yourself over the head like, how did I come up with that really cool color that I just cannot, figure out how to make again. I know some people will take their gel prints and they will write on them on the back or whatever, and kind of, I make notes of how they created the print, whether it be, which paints, which stencil, which mark making, any of that stuff. Once in a while I do, but since I film most of my things, I can just go back and watch. But if I do stuff off camera, that's when I tend to, like if I'm trying out something new that I want to show you, that's when I will be more apt to take a note of something, because I can't go back and look at it because I'm not always filming everything that I do. Let's see, just trying to fill in some of the gaps here. Don't think there's much. There we go. Okay, so lift this up, and again, remember that the stencil or the mica powder, once it hits the gel plate, it's set, it's ready to go. You don't have to allow it to dry or anything like that. So now let's reposition the stencil so that the pattern is different than what we laid down on the plate. Let's see here. Now, I'm using the 8x10 plate with a 9x12 stencil, so it's easier to do because I can, move the stencil around more. So let's see here. How did I, before it was like this. So if we do this, push it down so it sticks as best as it can. Now, it shouldn't really pull up too much of what's underneath already, so I'm not going to push it down too hard because I don't want to risk that. And let's just go over some of these areas here. And I'm not brushing too hard, trying not to disturb what I've got underneath. I mean, really shouldn't disturb it too much because it's already, like I said, already set. Let's get some white in here. Get a different brush so I don't contaminate my white here. And I think let's get some, oh, come on, close. Brilliant blue, finish it all up. There's still white on there, that's okay. Yeah, this will be interesting because we might create some new patterns by doing this technique, sort of laying it over and seeing, and just laying more of the mica powder down. Sometimes it overlaps with the same color, but it's all an experiment. Okay, I think I've got enough mica powder everywhere to last me a lifetime. It comes off easily, don't worry. It's water, soap and water. Well, let's take a look at what we got here. Oh, see, that's interesting. It gives you more, definitely more coverage here. All right, now let's decide on a color. Now, the other one I wanted to do gold, but I was kind of hesitant because of the colors. But I think I'm going to go ahead and give it a try. It's not gold. What if we did? I have this Arctic blue. Let's go with the Arctic blue. This is a nice color. It might work for us. I should get paper before I start things. Okay. For this, I'm using my 32-pound Hammermill color copy paper. And this is Lucas Krill Arctic 4273. Of course, it's crooked. Always crooked, Eddie. All right, let me give this a nice rub down with my Baron, and I'll be back once this and the other print is dry, so we can cut them up to fit our envelopes. Okay, let's start with the last one first. How about that? This is the last one, the second print we did. Where I kind of flip-flopped the stencil. Oh, I think I'm going to like this one better. Look at that. I think this should qualify for this month's color combo. I will CC Paula and Carrie in this video to get approval, but look at that. Oh my God. That's really cool. Very, very cool. All right. Let's undo the other one, or reveal the other one. 9x12 print. That's a little lopsided, but that's okay because we're going to cut it. All right. Huh. This one came out a little streaky. That is mainly due to that is because of the zinc paint. And that's, I don't really mind that. It's not a big deal. Also, these are sealed in, the mica powder, so they're not going to rub off. So there's no need to further seal this unless you want to. That's up to you. But I don't feel it necessary to do that. So I've never done that. But this one has its own really cool vibe to it because of the silver color we used to pick it up. There we go. So I've cut my envelope shapes out on the Cricut machine, and this is what they look like unfolded. I do not have a scoring tool on my Cricut machine, so I'm going to score them by hand, but that's shouldn't be too difficult here. So basically I want to go, was it down here? It really, I'm going to remove that part there because I feel like I want the score line to go right along the these edges here, right? So let's give this a go and see how well we do. Nope, that didn't work because I'm probably crooked. Let's try this. Still crooked, Eddie. You're a crooked dude. You know, you think I would have worked this out before I turned the camera on, but hey, that's part of the fun, right? Yeah, that is not scoring well. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to eyeball it. I think that is going to be the best way to do it because I'm not trying to mess with this thing all day. There we go. Let's just do that. And if there's a slight irregularity, you know what? The receiver will know it was made by my own hands. And, you know, that I think makes it extra special. So I think for this one, we want to bring it up enough, but we don't want that bottom, this inner thing area to fold. You want to bring it like right there. Okay. Easy peasy. Same thing on this side. And I just want to make sure, see this side, it's a little down. Now it may be wonky. I want to say it might be a little bit wonky just because of the nature of the envelope. So I'm going to just match it up on this side and then we'll be good to go. That is beautiful. And then all you got to do, you can use your double-sided tape thingy. Right now I actually did get some more double-sided tape, but I'm not going to use it for this. Right now I'm just going to use a little glitter glue. Actually, I'm going to put glue on here. Don't much. This glitter glue is nice and strong. And there we go. Now, if you're concerned about the inside, now some of my prints might have some paint on the back. Like this one. Okay, so this print wasn't big enough. So if you notice, this part here was not available for cutting because the paper was too narrow. So, but I think I'm going to make it work. I'll make it work somehow. So as I was saying, if you're concerned about this part inside, maybe use, before you fold it, gel print over it, put another piece of paper in it, kind of coordinate with it, maybe like cut it smaller than what you see here. I don't know, whatever you want to do. It doesn't bother me. It just shows that this was a homemade, this is an original print. It's not a copy, which I think is pretty fantabulous. So there you go. Okay, I'm gonna keep moving and grooving here. I am going to remove this. Oops, because I don't want to use that surface for getting everything all bone folded. So bring up my cutting board again. Very windy today, and I have one of my windows open, so you're going to hear maybe a little bit more noise than usual, but the wind is really nice today, so I thought, it'd be a good idea to leave the one window open and air this place out, get some fresh air in here. Yeah, see, eyeballing I think is going to be my best route. And I know that on Cricut you can get a scoring thing, but I don't have time for that right now, and I don't think it's necessary. So, if you're mask making, that's probably a good idea to invest in that tool. But I'm just making a few here to to have available for when I send out happy mail or just want to send a thank you note. I'm not very good at that, and I need to get better at it. So I am forcing myself to create these envelopes and cards, so I don't have an excuse to say, oh, well, I don't have a card, I don't have an envelope. You know, I've got all the stuff to make it. So there we go. Oh, I love this. I love this. It looks so cool. Very cool. Let's see if we can make something out of this guy here. If we can make it work with that missing bit. If anything, we're crafters, right? We're makers. We can fashion something to add to that, right? So let's see how far it goes. We may not even need anything. It just would be a shorter holding area, but it would still hold fine. Let me get that creased. See, but then it does something funky there. So let me look at because there were leftovers. There should be leftovers. Here we are. I saved all my bits. Now, what's really cool is after you cut these, you get these leftovers. These will make great pockets in a journal. They're already, at the right angle. Just maybe have to trim them a little bit, but that's an idea for you. Okay, so I need a bit. Let's see. I'm going to try and duplicate this one here. Pencil. So cut along this line. So then I want it a little bit lower because I don't know if you know there's a little piece that's kind of ripped there. So I want to cover that. So I think here, good place to trim it. All right, so then I think the glue stick would be good for that. Yeah, so I ordered some glue sticks the other day with my Walmart order. And of course, the ones I wanted, they didn't have, and they replaced them with these, which I've never used, but wish me luck. So essentially, now if I want it to go over, yeah, I'm going to put it over because I do want to cover that little bit up. I think we'll be all right. So I'm going to glue everything on the other side of that line. I do like the purple color though. Well, that's a lot of glue that came out there. Does that even line up right? Where are we? There we go. All right, I got glue on there, so just get a little towel here. Put just a little water on it. any of that residue. Water not working. Here we go. It just has to dry. That's not bad, huh? All right, so we can go ahead, do some gluing. I'm going to get that. New mat, new glue. I need a new mat. So that altered portion I'm going to use as the bottom part, not the flap, so that it doesn't get too much stress, you know, when you're opening and closing the envelope. Oh, that's brilliant. And then we just have to close this. And kind of actually looks kind of cool with that, just that, you know, black stripe going down the side there. Yeah, we made it work. Oh, love it. Okay. Yeah, I didn't glue this one. I actually need to, I'm just going to score them all and fold them and then glue them. Okay, so I found these cards. I forgot I had these. These are black index cards, and they're really cool because they have the rounded corners already. So I don't have to worry about that. And then they're not super thick. So if you can see, you can hear that. It's not a super thick paper, but it's thick enough, and they fit perfectly into our envelopes. There we go. So I need to cut designs. I need to cut out pieces that are 3 inches by 4 3/4 inches to fit nicely on the card and allow for some border to show. So the black border. So it's a little fancier, you know. So let me start on this side. I'm going to trim that up here. There we go. A little bit of white. I'm not going to worry too much about that. It's okay. There we go, nice and clean. So if we're going 3 inches, we could do is only, let's see, 3 and 3. We could do 2 rows of 3, 2 rows of 8, or two rows of the 4 by 3/4. So let's do that. Okay, I'm gonna trim this side. Actually, let me trim this side. It's a little wonky here. No, this would be easier to trim. You silly goose. So we're gonna cut this to 3 inches wide. One strip. Another one right here. And then 4 3/4. 4 3/4 inches. Now, obviously, you're going to tailor your measurements to whatever envelope and card that you have. But if you're going by the size envelope that I have, these are the measurements you want to go with. So there we go. Isn't it beautiful? She got a nice card there. I have a white acrylic marker I can write on the back, or gold. Brilliant. Or if I want to write a note or something on a piece of a different kind of paper, and then I can stick it on the back, I can do that too. That is an option. Let's see. Continue with these. Make sure I'm doing the right amount. Yep, 4 3/4. I really need to get a new blade for this thing. Wonderful. Oh, it's got that cool little grungy edge there. So we have 4 here. And then how many envelopes do I have? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I will use that one. Why not? So we'll have 4 here. So we should be able to get another 5. So here again, let me trim this edge. So get a nice clean starting point. And we'll do 2 rows of 3. 3 inches in width. Do 4 3/4. 4 3/4. Got some pieces left there. Now, we may not make it to 9. So we may just do the 8, and that's okay. I'm not going to fret. Or we could be clever and use the extra pieces to collage the 9th one. And that will solve our problems. It's 4 of those, 4 of these. And we could certainly do a collage, or you could do 2 strips of each. Let's take this one. There's my glue. I'll just use up the rest of my Yoo-hoo here, because I do have a little bit left here. This stuff's getting expensive too. I can't justify paying $10 for a stick of glue. That's just not reality. It's just inconceivable, really. Oh, well. All right, let's see as best I can line this up. And I think a glue stick is just fine for this. Look at that. Isn't that great? All right, so there you go. A beautiful card. Handmade card and a handmade envelope, both created with gel prints. How about that? Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I will finish these off, don't worry, but I just wanted to show you at least one. I don't think you need to see every single one, but there you go. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks so much. I will see you very soon. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. It goes a long way to help out my channel. Thank you so much. Bye, everyone.